After spending some time together in Radhadesh, a group of friends decided to travel together to the holy places of Vrindavan and Mayapur. Join us on our journey to the main temples established by the 6 Goswamis, our Govardhan Parikram, our trip to Varshana, our visit to Mayapur. Varshana, the home of Srimati Radharani. We knew that we wanted to visit the famous temple, also known as the Palace of Vrinda-kunda. Our original plan was to go with a tour guide, but unfortunately he got caught up with another group, and we had to again rely on Robert Prabhu's Parikram book while we visited the holy places.
The famous pastime that is connected to the sacred Sarovar. One day Radharani, accompanied by her friends, went to Nandagram where she met Krishna's mother Yashoda. Upon seeing the exquisite beauty and cultured behavior of Radharani, with her heart Yashoda Maya yearned that Radha should become her daughter-in-law by getting her married to her darling son, Krishna. Yashoda Maya was so carried away with the idea that she mixed some yellow turmeric paste and began applying it to Radharani's hands, as it is the custom when the would-be bride visits the house of her future mother-in-law. After feeling greatly honored by the affection shown by Mother Yashoda, Radha left with her girlfriends to Varshana. Observing the bright yellow color of her hands, Radharani began to feel rather embarrassed and began to ponder what the people of Varshana, and especially her family members, would say if she arrived home with the yellow turmeric-colored hands of a would-be bride. Therefore, before going home, Radharani rushed to the nearby lake known as Peela-Sarovara and diligently began washing off all the yellow or peely-colored turmeric from her hands. Immediately after Radha had washed her hands in the lake, the water in the lake turned a very bright yellow, Peeli. To this, the lake became celebrated as Peeli-Pokhar, meaning the yellow-colored lake.
This is the palace of Radharani?
I believe. I thought really are inspired. The evening
Situated high on a hilltop that overlooks the village of Varshana is the majestically beautiful temple known as the Sri-Ji-Mandira. The temple is also known locally as the Lari Lal Mandira, or just simply as the Radharani Mandira. The name Ladliji and Lari Lal refers to the deities of Radha and Krishna who are worshipped here in their childhood forms. This is one of the most beautiful temples in Braja and was built on the spot where Radharani once lived in her father's palace. Her father, who was a close friend of Nanda Maharaj, was the illustrious Vrishabhanu Maharaj, and her mother was the pious Kirtida. The village of Varshana is the place where Radharani spent the early part of her youth prior to her marriage with Abhimanyu.
The first part of our trip was dedicated to see all the places near the temple. The Radharani Mandir's back door led us to the path to visit the second palace dedicated to Srimati Radharani.
The beautiful temple was built by Maharaj of Jaipur for the pleasure of Srimati Radharani at the great expense of the king. The deities here are Radha and Krishna, known as Sri Sri Kushala Bihari, along with deities of Gopalaji and Hamsa Gopal. It is said that this temple was originally built as a replacement for the Sri-Ji-Mandira, and the temple fell into disrepair. It was planned that the deities of Lari Lala would be moved to this new temple. However, it did not happen and the Sri-Ji-Mandira was eventually rebuilt.
Behind the second temple there was the famous swing which Radha and Krishna used and which is today celebrated as the festival of Julan Yatra. Following the natural path, we reached a most secluded but yet most beautiful place with an amazing pastime connected to it.
Word mana, pronounced as man, means a kind of jealous anger or lover's pique, experienced by a female lover towards her beloved. Gar means a room where one can sit in solitude. This place, situated on the top of Brahmagiri Parvata, is the spot where Sri Krishna with great difficulty was able to placid the man or jealous anger that was consuming Radharani. One day Radha had arranged to meet Krishna and was waiting for him, but he was extremely late. As Radha waited, her pet parrot arrived and conveyed the news that Krishna was sitting in a distant grove with Chandravali, Radha's main rival in attracting the love and affection of Krishna. Chandravali had managed to steal Krishna away from her and was now loitering with him in a secluded grove. Radharani became filled with indignation and in a jealous fit ran away and hid herself at this spot. After some time, Krishna arrived and was extremely sorry to see Radha in such a distressed condition. He tried everything to convince her that he met Chandravali only by chance and and remained there because she was feeling unhappy due to not having seen him for such a long time. Regardless of Krishna's various attempts to pacify Radha, she remained unmoved and hid her face while refusing even to talk. Leaving that place in defeat, Krishna met with Vishaka, who suggested a better way of pacifying Radharani. Vishaka then dressed Krishna in a garb of a gopi named Shyama-Sakhi. Thus expertly disguised as a beautiful young gopi and holding Veena, Shyama-Sakhi was then introduced to Radharani by Vishaka as one of their new friends who was able to sing very sweetly. Radharani was very happy to meet Shyama-Sakhi and invited her to sing and play with the Veena. As Shyama-Sakhi sang a number of enchanting love songs, the sound of her voice enthralled Radha to such a degree that Radha felt compelled to hold Shyama-Sakhi in her arms and embrace her. As Radharani put her arms around Shyama-Sakhi and felt the touch of her body, she immediately realized that it was none other than her beloved Krishna and became so ecstatic at the realization that her mind completely disappeared. Radharani then remained there with her beloved Krishna while enjoying transcendental loving exchanges.
So many more places we wanted to visit. The time was running short. Even though there was still one more temple on the way, we left the village to be in time to find transcendental shelter at Ter Kadamba, where Srila Rupa Goswami chanted the holy names underneath a Kadamba tree and wrote many books like the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu to share Krishna consciousness with the world. We chanted some japa while enjoying the spiritual and peaceful atmosphere, while also hearing some of the pastimes connected with this holy place from the local sadhu.
Krishna has 900,000 cows. So much huge cow. Still now Krishna every day come here with cows. Who is pure devotees, they are still now darshan. When Krishna come in the morning with cows, that time Krishna only alone come here. No friends, no coward boys come here. Then Krishna calls to the coward boys for cow management. Here mobile have no, Krishna's mobile is fluid. One time calling, all the coward boys are named Dam, Sidam, Bosudam, I am already come, you come quickly. Then all the coward boys are come here.
We would then round off the experience at Ter Kadamba by doing a kirtan together.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
It was around noontime as we reached the final two places of pilgrimage, and even though our friend and tour guide could not come to show us around, he managed to get us a traditional Roti lunch meal made by a local family's mother.
Oh, there they are. The little rascal.
We were speaking about all your cousins. Yeah, scratch your head.
Going back to the transcendental pastimes and places, next station was the famous Prema-sarovara.
On the banks of this Sarovara, many wonderful pastimes between Krishna and the gopis of Raj took place, including the celebrated rasa dance and the swing pastimes known as Jhulana Leela. This is one of the most beautiful and also famous lakes in Raj, and it was created from the teardrops of the divine lovers Radha and Krishna. The word Prema means divine love and Sarovara means a lake. In the Bhakti Ratnakara it says, at this place Prema Vaichitya Bhava was manifested by Radha and Krishna. Prema Vaichitya is a word used to indicate an abundance of love that brings about grief from fear of separation, although the lover is actually present. One day Radha and Krishna came to this place with their friends, and while sitting together in a forest grove, they both simultaneously manifested the ecstatic mood known as Prema Vaichitya Bhava. On that occasion, Radharani was sitting on the lap of Krishna when suddenly Madhumaki, honeybee, began hovering around Radha's ear. As this honeybee was slightly disturbing Radharani, she kept waving her hand to keep it at some distance. Seeing that the Madhumaki was disturbing Radha, Krishna then asked his dear friend Madhumangal to chase the honeybee away. After chasing the bee and successfully shooing it off, Madhumangal then called out to Krishna saying, Madhu has gone away, referring to Madhumaki honeybee. Hearing the words of Krishna's friend, Radharani mistakenly took it to mean Madhu has gone away. Madhu is another name of Krishna. Suddenly her mood changed to one of intense grief due to fear of separation from her beloved Madhu or Krishna. Due to the sudden onset of Prema Vaichitya Bhava, Radharani could no longer see her beloved Krishna and began shedding a torrent of tears. Noticing the sudden change in Radharani's bhava, Krishna's bhava also dramatically changed due to intensity and influence of Radha's own bhava. At that moment, Krishna, due to the effect of Prema Vaichitya Bhava, was no longer able to see Radharani and also began shedding a torrent of tears due to acute separation. As they began piteously calling out each other's name in utter desperation, the flow of their combined tears began to create a small lake. When two parrots sitting in a nearby tree saw the ecstatic condition of Radha and Krishna, they began singing the holy names of the divine lovers. When Radha and Krishna heard their names being sung by the parrots, they immediately returned to external consciousness. As they could now see each other once again, Radha and Krishna began embracing one another to their heart's content. The lake created from the tears of Radha and Krishna became known as Prema-sarovara, meaning the lake of love. This famous kunda on the outskirts of Nandagram is the residence of the gopi Vrinda-devi, who is very expert in arranging meetings between the divine lovers, Radha and Krishna. Every morning, Purnamasi meets Vrinda-devi here at Vrinda-kunda, and together they make plans for the day's loving encounters between Radha and Krishna. After deciding the day's events, Purnamasi returns home and Vrinda-devi, with her mind, begins to meditate on decorating the various forest groves and bowers where Radha and Krishna are going to meet that day. Vrinda-Devi, by means of her mystic potency, arranges for varieties of aromatic creepers and vines along with beautiful flowering bushes and blossoming trees of various hues to manifest around the chosen meeting place. The forest goddess Vrinda-Devi is the predominating deity of Vrindavan and is none different from the forest itself, including its flora and fauna. Simply by her desire, she is able to manifest a perfect transcendental environment for Radha and Krishna to enjoy their amorous pastimes. Consequently, the forests of Vrindavan always appear as if springtime is manifesting there every day. Vrinda is assisted by her many companions, of whom Veera Devi, Sanket Devi, is the most prominent. Vrinda also has a yellow-colored pet parrot named Daksha, who acts as a messenger as well as bringer of news. Vrinda Devi's position is unique because as the predominating deity of Vrindavan forest and an expansion of Yoga Maya, by her mercy one can enter into Krishna's transcendental pastimes. For this reason, she has also manifested herself as Tulasi Devi and appears in the form of a Tulasi plant to accept the worship of aspiring devotees and helps nurture their creeper of devotion. Therefore she is also called Bhakti Devi, the goddess who can bestow pure devotional service to Krishna. Vrinda Devi is so dear to Krishna that unless an offering of food has a tulasi leaf placed upon it, Krishna does not like to accept it. At the present time, Vrinda-kunda is being managed by ISKCON devotees who have constructed a new temple on the banks of the sacred Kunda, where the deity of Vrinda Devi presides. Vrinda Devi ki
Joy.
Extremely inspired by the festival of transcendental pastimes, Robert, Gopinath, Niels and myself went back to our sacred ashram, where we would prepare ourselves to soon leave to Mayapur.